This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. A lot of people are talking about coaches nowadays. Maybe getting a life coach, somebody to help transform your life, walk the journey with you, and that's all great. And I'm gratified that it's on people's radar that these people exist. I wish even 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, I knew that we're life coaches. We're familiar with therapists. Coaches are not therapists. A lot of people kind of connect them. We'll talk about that in a second. But I found one who is different in that, aside from coaching to change your life, she also harnesses the power of energy healing and kind of blends it together for an amazing outcome. We're going to talk with her today about that. She is Farrell, Minaker, and she joins us on the program. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, great to have you here. And out of the gate, I got to ask this question. You are a transformational coach, right?
Yep.
How do you define that? I mean, it could sound rhetorical with those two words, but I wonder, maybe, I don't know if I'm missing something. The difference between a transformational coach and, let's say, a life coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think they're probably similar, but what I think is different about the transformational coaching is that you are literally taking them into a new transition in their life, right? So even though a life coach, yes, is helping you in your life, what I'm more focused on is actually seeing those results from taking you from point A to point B. And you see that huge transition of here's where I was yesterday, and here's where I am now working with you, and how much things have literally changed and shifted in your life. And you can see, you literally feel the transformation in yourself, if that makes sense.
Sure. And do you find that many of us, whether we're being coached or not, don't look at the wins? Like we look at, here's where I am, here's, that's what I really want to do, or I'm not even sure what I want to do or the direction I want to head in. But if you look back at the last, let's say, 6 months, what happened in your life and maybe things that you got through, I think many of us would be like, I pulled that off. I did that. I moved my life forward there. I made some more money here. Do you feel that we don't take stock in all of that? Look at it as a whole, as opposed to, well, same way I was yesterday.
Absolutely. And that's one of the most important first steps that I do with my clients is, and you said it perfectly, lenses, right? Our life is all based on lenses. And when you really, so that's what I do is I sit with people and I help them actually break that down. Okay, let's look at, where are you right now? And then we break it down to, okay, now where would you like to be? And it is really difficult for people to go, what? This is what I want, because we don't really sit there and take time to figure out what it is that we would really love to have in life. We're so used to the just the daily grind of, I get up, I brush my teeth, I have breakfast, I go to work, I come home, and you do it all over again. And we just kind of get stuck in this that mundane reality. And we don't question it. It's just, okay, this is my life and we accept it. And I try to get people to look at that from a different angle and go, no, don't just accept that you're going to be doing the same job for the next 20 years. I mean, if you want to, and that makes you happy, great. But I don't think most people are happy in the jobs that they're doing, that they're stuck in. And so when you really take that focus and that lens on it and you go, okay, here's where I am. This is what I want now. And then we start building a plan and we use tools and different meditations of how to get you to where you want to be.
You said meditations?
Yep.
Interesting. Do you find that there's a lot of revelation in meditation?
I do if it's used correctly. There's a lot of really crappy meditations out there and people will try them and they'll go, oh, well, that didn't work. So meditations must not work. So what I do is we do the meditation at the end. So we do, first of all, we go through, we uncover what it is that you're getting stuck on in life, what's holding you back, or a block, or whatever it may be that's coming up. And we work on that, and then we recode that, and then we do a meditation afterwards to kind of solidify it in there.
When we talk about these blocks, do you feel that a lot of them are the blocks that go back to our childhood that we might not even be aware of?
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. We all have them. I don't care if you had the best childhood in the world.
Yep.
We all have traumas that take us back to when we were little kids. And that's really the building blocks and the foundations. Because when you're little, right, you don't know any better. You're born into your family dynamic, and you become like your family. So for instance, if you were born into a family of thieves, right? All you know is that your family, everybody steals. And if you don't steal, then you're the black sheep, right? So you want to always make everybody happy in your family dynamic and be like everybody else is, because you don't know any better. Right. And then, so when you're little, you're a sponge, and you soak all of that up, and you try to please your family and your parents and your siblings. And then when you're about, I don't know, say like between 4 and 7 is when you start to develop your own personality, and you start to develop your own opinions about things, and you start to see the world a little differently, because your brain is literally changing when you're a kid, right? There's all kinds of stuff that's happening up there. And so you start looking at things and deciding, hey, maybe I don't want to wear blue socks today. Maybe I want to wear no socks at all today. And that's where it really starts. And the traumas that we have as kids, that carries on with us. And it's not a bad thing necessarily. It's a defense mechanism. Like, this is how we protect ourselves. And then as we become adults, it's just programs running in the background of our mind that we don't even realize, like, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, I'm not allowed to have money because it's scary. Maybe love is a thing that was hard. Maybe there wasn't a lot of love in your family, and so to you that might be like really scary. So all these traumas, they're all meant to protect us and help get us through life and safeguard us. But the thing is what I do is I help people kind of undo all that programming that was running in the background. And that's where you break it down, you understand it. Then we use some tools to help that disappear. You recode it, and then you do a meditation, and then and it's a daily routine. It's a new routine, just like anything. You get into the same old mundane routine that you're in. So now we shift it and we change it to a new routine, and it's going to take a little bit of time. You have to do it every day, and that's where the coaching comes in as well. There's like full support. I'm always there if somebody's falling off track or whatever, to keep them going in that new direction so that they can keep focusing on what they do love.
I have a new view of meditation based on what you're saying. I really do. And I've gotten to the point where I can do it. You're taking it to another level where it's almost as if that's the glue that's sealing the healing, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. And spot on, in my opinion, your point there that we all have traumas. We all have something from our childhood. And it's the same thing as when you hear people say, my family's great, we all get along, everything's fantastic. You're lying. Don't you lie to us. We know you're lying. There's no way. There's always something. And I don't mean that in a negative way. That's just being realistic. Things come up. It's called life. It's called relationships. But, to your point about the childhood, you have two kids. And it's my belief that when they're born, they could come from different backgrounds, different languages, different DNA, They're basically a fresh slate. And that's, as life begins, that's where they start absorbing things from their surroundings, their family, and all of that. They could be exposed to the exact same situations. And child A has issues with it later in life. Child B, man, rolled off their shoulder. And it could have been, they got bullied on the playground. And then a teacher said something to them about some work they did in school. And it was more evidence of feeling like, for example, well, I'm not good enough. No wonder I got bullied, or I didn't get. I didn't get picked for the team. There's another reason I'm not good enough. Oh, and the
Mhm.
teacher, I did this beautiful drawing, and she said, "Well, I should have made this, a little larger or whatever it might be. I'm not good enough." Our subconscious is always looking for proof to back that garbage up, isn't it?
Um, yeah, yes and no. So there's three different types of conscious levels, right? So there's the self-conscious level that we are at right now. And our thinking waking moment. There's the subconscious or unconscious with the programs running in the background. And then there's a third one that's like the super conscious. You can call it God, source, universe, whatever. I call it super conscious. That's from actually Chris Duncan's work. So Chris Duncan is awesome. I love that guy, all the stuff that he does. And he talks about super conscious as well. So super conscious is like the ever connected cloud, if you will. So think of it like this. So you know how there's the cloud that holds all of our information on a computer, right?
Hmm.
And so that's like the collective consciousness, same kind of idea with everybody and energy all around us. We are all connected to the super conscious, every single one of us, whether we feel it or know it or believe it or not. That's where the change comes from. So when you want
Mm.
to shift something in your unconscious and change the programming, we need to get to the super conscious and start sending it new instructions of, I want this instead of that over there. And so the negative stuff that we have. Oh, and here's the other kicker. Here's the little twist to that. The trauma as a child, you can actually have traumas passed down to you through DNA, and that is scientifically proven. Crazy
Mm.
stuff, quantum physics, really interesting stuff. But yeah, you can actually inherit your parents' traumas or your grandparents' traumas when you're born and already have those and not even know why you have them.
Pretty wild. And also, when we talk about those traumas, to get bullied on a playground, whatever it is, it's not just up in here, isn't it? In your DNA, gets into the cellular level of your body.
Yep. Yep.
Well, crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't mean this in a negative way, Farrell, but I'm just going to say, does it amaze you that we all function fairly well when you think about all the stuff that we've been exposed to as kids and what could be holding us back? That how do we even do life? You look
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah, it's absolutely. There's definitely times when I've thought that to myself, like, my God, you can be the most positive person in the world and still have bad things happen to you and look back and go, what is going on here?
Yeah.
How have I made it this far in life so far?
But then when you have those, if you flip them around and say, I got through that, man. I got through that too. What? How did I pull that off? There was a time in the last 5 years that was going through some challenges personally myself, and there, few people that were close to me said, how are you dealing with all of that?" And I just said, just moving forward, just keep moving forward. There's no other way. What are you gonna do?
Absolutely.
Eh,
Absolutely. I've had in the last year and a half, I've probably had three pretty major events happen in my life that I just totally blindsided by. Never ever thought that I would be in positions that I was in.
I got you.
And yeah, and then I just go, okay, I have to find what good can come of this. What if this is coming up in my reality and there's no way for me to stop this from coming up? How can I make the best out of this situation? What can I find to learn from this? What experiences? How am I going to grow from this? There's nothing I can do to change that over
Sure.
there, but what can I do moving forward so that that, and to me that's part of the healing, right? You need to be able to move forward, and that's one of the ways that I move forward and teach my clients as well. Like, look, shit's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's life. Nobody is ever going to get to the end of their life and go, nothing bad ever happened to me, it was such a great life. No, even good people have bad experiences. It's just all, you have to realize that good and bad is going to come. And I think people have this misconception that if I can just get to here, then life is going to be amazing for the rest of my life, and sunshine and rainbows and unicorn farts. It no. Yes, life is going to be great lots of times, but you have to come to the understanding of the reality that sometimes life is just not going to go the way that you are, and the only control that you have out of anything in life is what you choose to do and how you choose to react, because you can't control anything else. You can't control
Yep.
people or life events.
Completely. Yeah. And my inside, when you're speaking about all of this, I feel excitement coming on. And why? Because when you do this work where somebody works with somebody like you, it becomes exciting in that you're able to move your life forward. Like, example, I used to be one of those people where something presented itself. I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, like really?" And go on like for a day, like, "Oh, well, like, oh, how am I going to deal with that? Like, what if this happens from that? And what if, and it goes on." Now, when something presents, depending on what it is, I react. I might get like momentarily triggered, like, what? Rip. 5 minutes later, I already forgot about it because it's not important. It's not as important as you think it is. And then there's other times where I look back like, why did I even give that even 10 minutes? Like, done. We'll move past that. We'll, onward. But again, you look back at the wins and you see that you're amazing. We're resilient. We don't even know how powerful we are until you go through
We
stuff.
really don't.
Right?
Yeah,
Mm.
it's absolutely. And I think people need to take more time to reflect on themselves. And I think people these days, they're afraid to look at themselves in
Oh,
different lights. And because we're so built on a system where, you know, you're broken, right? So actually, one of the things that I really love that Chris Duncan always says is, you're not broken. You're not. It's not, you don't need somebody to come pick the pieces back up and glue them back together. No, that's not what it is at all. And when you sit down and you reflect and you look back at your own self, and you are able to just kind of sit in innocence, right? Sit in innocence, like as if you were a child looking at your own life for the first time and just noticing what you notice. Just go, okay, I did that well. That wasn't that bad. Okay, that really sucked. Okay. And just sit in innocence and be okay with all of those things, no matter what they are and how they come up, and just allow that to be who you are, and realize that, okay, there's things that you want to change, and there's always going to be things that you want to change, because we're humans. We're
hmm.
always constantly growing and learning and having new experiences. Because if you ignore those things, then you're kind of dying. I mean, you're not learning anything. You're just staying stagnant. You're sitting still. You're not moving forward or anything, right? So even if you don't know how to deal with things or where to go from there, just sitting down and reflecting and going, just sitting in innocence and allowing yourself to really look at who you are and what's happened. And from that, a lot of stuff comes up, and you can just discover, okay, now I know more of what I don't want. And now I know what I would like to have instead.
I what you said resonates so much with me. And I have a friend who wrote a song. He does, he's a local guy, but I love his stuff. And there's a song, the lyrics go, the core is still the same, but there's a few more cracks there in my shell. That doesn't mean that the cracks need to be glued up. There's just,
Mhm.
that's life, but you're still
Yep.
the same person. You just go through stuff. You've been through stuff. I've been through stuff. We've all been through stuff. In the last, I don't know, 3, 5 years, what's one thing for you? Statement, thought, direction that moved your life forward?
Hmm.
Maybe your wake up, maybe your epiphany, whatever it might be.
That's a really good question. That's a hard question.
Steve does that from time to time. I'll share
I
mine.
don't
Oh,
I
you go
don't know
ahead.
that there's necessarily any particular statement
And it
that
could
I
be
can.
so simple too. Like, here's mine. Here's mine. Somebody said
Okay.
to me, and I met them at the right time. They just showed up in my life. And I believe, the cloud sent it, if you will. Um, and they said to me, "Why don't you ever live in the moment?"
Hmm.
And I was like, What are you talking about? You don't live in the moment. You're always thinking about the past, the future. You don't live now in the moment. It took a while, months for me to figure that out. But when I did, it was like, oh, okay. Yeah, because if you live in the past, that creates issues. If you live in the future, which doesn't exist and may not even get here as you think it might, you're putting wasted energy out there. But if you slice this second right now, what's wrong with it? Or this one right there, or this one right there, that second, what's wrong with it? I got nothing. It's all good. It's all good. But that was kind of the beginning of my change, of the way I look at things.
Well, I definitely like, there's a quote from Andrew Carnegie that I really, really like. I read it it was in a book that I read, Vincent Peale.
The Power of Positive Thinking.
Yes, The Power of Positive Thinking. Yes.
Which, by the way, was published in the 1940s and is still around today. And whenever I get some time, I'll grab that book. And I even have the paperback. And I'll just...
Me too.
With the yellow pages, and I'll go through it. And there's good stuff in there.
There's some really good stuff in there. Yeah, Norman Vincent Peale is a fascinating guy. And one of the quotes that he had in his book, because he talked a lot about Andrew Carnegie in there. And one of the things that I really loved that Andrew Carnegie had said is, never be so foolish as to not surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. And that really hit home for me, because I think at that point in my life, I'd had the mentality that I have to do everything on my own. That was kind of my upbringing of, learn how to be self-sufficient, do everything on your own, never ask for help. It's a bad idea to ask people for help. And it's like, no, that just kind of shattered that mental state for me. And it is okay to surround yourself by people that are smarter than you, because you're never going to be the smartest person in the world for every single thing. But if you have somebody that is, better at computers than you, or they know how to design a website, for instance, better than you do, or, you need help in life coaching, and there's so many things that you want to do, but you can't accomplish all of that on your own. So surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, that know how to do those things. And that's how I'll also help your dream become a reality, because whatever it is that you can't do, now have other people around you that can make your dream come true to fruition.
And even if you have to make an investment, small investment in their knowledge, you're investing in yourself. And it was Sir Isaac Newton who said, what we know is a drop. What we don't know is the ocean. Can't know everything. But I'm right there with you. I'm wired. I'll take care of it myself. I'll do that. Not that I don't want to delegate, but it's people love to be asked to help you. They enjoy it. They get something out of it, but we don't look at it that way. We look at it as a burden, asking for a favor, asking for some help, support, whatever it might be. We got to change that. Yeah, I get it. It can be uncomfortable.
Yeah,
it can be uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
How do we connect with you? I want everybody to know, if somebody wants to connect with you, if they want to make a transformation, even start a conversation, how do they find you?
Yeah, so website hopefully will be done by next week and revamped and actually functional. But for right now, if anybody wants to reach me, they can send me an email at farrell.minaker@gmail.com. So FARRELL.MINAKER@gmail.com. They can also book an appointment with me if they want to do like a 15-minute consultation through Calendly. They can also look me up there. Don't know if you need the Calendly.
You know what? We're going to put it on the screen.
Okay.
We can do that. Okay. This is so exciting. If you're stuck, if you're looking for a change, start making a transformation. And what you said before about that book, Norman Vincent Peale, again, the 1940s, there's passages in there where he says, when you're walking out of a store and there's somebody passing by you, think good thoughts about that person, positive thoughts about that person. And what he was saying back then was energy. Put positive energy to somebody else. positivity, the whole energy thing. You harness the power of that. And I think that makes you radically different than some other life coaches. And I love it. It's, you look at it in a different way. Farrell, great having you on here today. Learned a lot.
Thank you so much for having me on here. I know we kind of got a little sidetracked from the original. We were talking about the energy of things, but I'd love to talk about that next episode next week with you. It was really fun chatting with you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
I'm right there with you. And yeah, the energy thing, even, I don't know if manifestation is one of those. Would love to even talk about that energetically. And side note, I had a past life regression last week. You know, you talk about DNA from the past. Whoa, just leave it at that. This stuff is real. Yeah. Great having you on. Looking forward next time we get together.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.